I want you to go to heavensharvest.com, promo code Kandiss, and I want you to get prepped. We don't know what's coming, who knows, but regardless, whether it's a hurricane, national disaster, or the whole government shuts down, they have awesome deals on freeze-dried food. In fact, they have a new item. It's freeze-dried cans. It's a lot less expensive than the big barrels. Go there, heavensharvest.com, promo code Kandiss, and check them out. Hey everybody, welcome to Jesus, Guns, and Babies. I'm your host, Dr. Kandiss Taylor. I have a great show today. I have 3 guests. You're going to love it. You're going to learn all kinds of things, and so am I. So we're going to start with 1 Corinthians 2:16, and I'm using the Amplified version tonight. But we have the mind of Christ, the Messiah, and do hold the thoughts, feelings, and purposes of His heart. So we have His mind, and we hold the thoughts of His heart. They're there, even though we meet people every day who act like they don't even have Christ anywhere near them. If they're a Christian and they're born again, they have His thoughts. So hold them accountable. All right, so welcome to Jesus, Guns, and Babies. I have Matthew Hazen with Human Consciousness Support, and I also have Nicole and Anna with The Flame. So welcome to Jesus, Guns, and Babies.
Thank you, Kandiss. It's great to be here.
Thanks for having us, Kandiss. Yes.
Yes, again, ditto that. Thanks for having us.
So I think we can start with the ladies first if you want to. If y'all want to kind of tag and tell people what The Flame is and what you do, and then if we'll move on to Matthew and let him tell us what he does.
Absolutely. So The Flame is a newspaper for the people, by the people. It is a publication. We do our best to actually publish censored information. Obviously, in the last 4 years, we have seen that censorship is in the masses. And so we have everyday citizens contribute, and we go through and we pick the greatest articles that we can choose. And, you know, it really is something that's special, Kandiss, because when I encourage people all the time to just look around them, right? We talk about having, you know, Jesus's mind. And when we go out into our communities and we look around us, we can see the truth of what's happening. And mainstream media is not sharing that. They're sharing the narrative, they're sharing the grouping, they're sharing the separation, the hate, the fear. And so The Flame is able to actually talk to real people, get real information from professionals, doctors, lawyers, your next door neighbor, the mom who's fighting at the school board meeting, the pastor of a church that didn't close during the pandemic. And so we are just getting information out into the masses.
Okay, and so you have anything to add?
Sure. We started in 2022 when, you know, we started because we knew that we were getting censored on social media. We have The Flame at theflameusa.com. People subscribe in over 40 states. It gets out to the movable middle. This is a way that that sticks with people. It gets to restaurants, to truck stops, to the average person that will never, ever see the things that we know that are going on. It also shares the gospel. We have Ephesians 6:12 on the back, and it's for we fight not against flesh and blood enemies, but against principalities and powers in high places. And after The Flame, we started something. I'm going to tie Matt into this. We started something called the Flame Press. We just did 50,000 copies for a candidate in West Virginia. They go door to door with newspaper. How much more effective is that than a door hanger? It tells a story. It's credible. That's what we do. Matt has a company, and we are doing this for his affiliates and getting paper out to everybody to change their lives, to save lives. So we have a big mission. We even did one for King County here in Washington State. Let's go, King County. And we were able to talk about initiatives. We were able to talk about things that get out to the average person that knows something is not right. They know about inflation, crime, the things going on, the fentanyl crisis, but they don't know what to do. General Flynn says local action makes national impact. Our paper and all the papers we do for people are about taking local action in your community and making a national impact. In fact, General Flynn is on our front cover this month for his movie.
It's very interesting because whenever I was running for governor in Georgia, and I would go to every single county, we have 159 counties in Georgia, we have a lot of counties, and every single county would tell me about corruption in their school board, and corruption in their county commissioners, and corruption with their judges, and corruption with, their anything that was related to backroom deals and certain companies getting favors, and it was the same story. And then I got with Mike Lindell's movement, and I flew out to South Dakota, and then I flew out to Missouri, and then I started talking to people in those states, and then, just flying around the country, talking to people everywhere. Every single state and every county has the same issues. So it's actually very logical to me that you would have a newspaper or a magazine, or is it a newspaper or a magazine?
It's a newspaper.
It's a newspaper, right? That reaches local issues, but it affects everybody. We think we're so different. We think every state is so different, but we're not. We're actually the same. Like, the enemy doesn't have new plans. He just does the same thing over and over, and he hurts people over and over and over. And it's the same exact thing. He's not an originator. He's not a creator. And so he just duplicates the same sin and the same strategy, and people fall for it. And so we have to be smarter, and you're exactly right. We don't fight against flesh and blood. So I love this. This is like so refreshing because we have fake news everywhere. I've been in the Rolling Stones, I've been in the AJC over and over. I've been on Howard Stern, and they've had me, saying things about me being a flat earther, but I've never said I believed in flat earth. I interviewed a flat earther who is actually my friend, and because I ask questions, then I believe the earth's flat. No, I've always said the earth is round. I never said that, but it doesn't matter. They take sound bites. They'll take sound bites from that, and they'll clip it and say that I said it was flat, because that's what they do. They love to get sound bites and twist and pervert. Who does that? Lucifer does that. And so thank you for media that's authentic. So Matthew, you're up next. Tell us what you do.
I'm just a normal guy trying to do my part to make the world a better place. And it's an honor to be here with you truth fighters. There needs to be more of us. We need I think it's real important that everybody wakes up to the fact that we live in a broken society where the regulatory bodies, the politics, everything is dog eat dog. It's a very evil setup. You can literally have a bioweapon disguised as a vaccine get rolled out and put into 5.9 billion people, countless children, countless innocent people, and will show a countless amount of side effects. And these monsters can literally brag about all the money they make off of it. But yet you'll have a product like the one that I'm blessed to get to steward out to humanity, where we have fearlessly gotten and we've pursued getting the facts, the evidence, the proof that we've attained in our initial clinical pilot study that are irrefutable, undeniable, unquestionable, and they will sit there and show how they depoison people and help people live better lives, and in a significant way of reducing the forever chemicals and different poisons that our ecosystem and lives are having it. And we'll get attacked from everywhere. And so when these monsters can go and harm the entire society, when you have good people that are fighting for the truth and are just trying to make a difference, and we have a good product that sticks its head up and starts making a way, then it gets censored and brutally in a harsh way. We have the FDA, you name the regulatory body. If they found out about this product, they're already trying to shut it down, and with highly inaccurate and incorrect information. 99% of our product is literally purified ocean water. And we will tell the FDA in that case, hey guys, if purified ocean water is unhealthy, then our whole world is done. And they won't even answer our calls. We'll have merchants and payment processors holding huge amounts of money that keep a company from being able to operate that good. And it's a tag team event. And so we have a world where evil gets the free pass and the free ride, and they try to destroy anything that's for the truth or anything that's truly positive. I guess there's no money in people getting better, you know, and so we all have to fight together and find a way to change our world and make a better place, because our kids and our kids' kids, if we don't do it for them, this world's not looking too good, you know. So I'm happy, Kandiss, that you're standing up. Politicians don't have a very good reputation as a whole, and so the fact that they would come after you and try to just destroy you with sound bites that, like you were just talking about, that means that you're shaking the right bushes and barking up the right trees and flying over the right targets, I like to say.
Well, when you're talking about pharmaceutical companies, of course, they want all the money. So there is money in these things. It's just the money will go to good people. It'll go to honest people. It'll go to people like you. And you know, these pharmaceutical companies, God forbid that we have a capitalistic society where anybody has the creative idea to be a billionaire outside of them, right? Because that's how America was founded. We were founded where we could have a creative idea and we could be billionaires. Because that's what America is. It's freedom, and it's creative thinking, and it's, you know, all the things. But they flipped it, and they've taken control and power that are in our seats, and they've made a monopoly so that they can be a monarchy and not a constitutional republic. And that's where we are, and they want to solidify it. And we are now awake, and we're not going to let them solidify it. We're pushing back. We're not going to stand for it. And so thank the Lord for your company that you're coming out and you're having products to help heal people. And so will you talk about like the product specifically? And I guess in the newspaper is helping you get that out, getting the word out. Is how you have a relationship with the flame, which is wonderful. But could you talk about your product? Because that people all the time, I hear from people who had the shot because of work, and they felt like they had to because of work, and they've had breast cancer, or they're having heart issues, or they're having, you know, random colon issues, and all kind of things. And so, could you talk about your product?
Absolutely. The product is only 2 ingredients. It's the best detoxifying natural mineral from lava, and then ocean water. And there's some fancy little things that are done to it that we have trademarked and copyrighted. But what I think the best thing to do, instead of making claims, is to talk about the actual evidence that we got off of our initial pilot study. And so it's very well known now that a substance called graphene oxide causes a lot of problems in people. And so does a heavy metal called aluminum. And so aluminum, which is in deodorants, it's in insecticides, it's in vaccines. They do have patents that show that it's in the chemtrail processes, different things like that. And it's very harmful. It's well linked and documented to cause extreme neurological dysfunction and cell disruption of all levels. And so what's really good, at the end of our study, where we took people's blood, our 3 test subjects, we took their blood, we took their urine, and then we put them on MasterPeace, which was the normal dosing that anybody gets. And then after 35 days and then 90 days, we retested their levels also for things like glyphosate, right? Glyphosate's a big one. Lead, mercury, all microplastics. These are harmful substances.
Heavy metals, right? Heavy metals that are in vaccines.
A list of heavy metals, 24 of them.
Yeah, that could be causing autism that nobody wants to talk about.
Right. Even though if you go on PubMed, it's well linked and documented that, you know, and my big hat off to the Flame for being even willing to take us. It seems like nobody wants to go around something that is changing so many people's lives. So we have 20,000 family members that their anecdotal testimonials is backing up the evidence that we have. And what we've shown is in the urine, we showed an 84% reduction in aluminum in 35 days. I mean, think about that,
wow.
Right? Where this is done in a clinical trial setting. And then our graphene oxide levels, over 90 days, we showed over a 70% reduction. How good does this nefarious, evil technology that they're trying to get in people and everything else weird that's going on in the world that's so hard to even accept could happen, but the evidence is so overwhelming that we can't deny it. And then to be able to say, hey, here's something that has no side effects. It's gentle. It doesn't taste bad. It takes 5 drops twice a day, and people's lives virtually across the board, at least from what they say, their claims, not mine. I have to be careful with that stuff, but their claims is that they sleep better than they've ever slept before. They dream again. They wake up easier than they've ever woke up, feeling rested to get the day. Their mental clarity and their cognition and their ability to operate and their emotional state of being, their mood for no other reason is heightened. And I think it's just because that's how we naturally are. Look at us when we were children, when we were childlike. You don't have to make a 3-year-old have a good day. They have a good day no matter what they're doing, as long as they're not bored. And so, it gets us back to that. And I think it's just been I don't think people are sick. I think they've been poisoned. And so and this is so this product is changing the world, and in every single way that you've ever looked at a product, Kandiss, and once you get the time to look at it, I think you're going to agree, like everybody else, that we are head and shoulders superior in every way. How the way we carry ourselves, the way we priced it so that it was highly affordable for everybody, not just a millionaire, and everything else. It's an amazing process, and we're seeing big changes. And we gravitate around great companies and people such as the Flame. And it's just been a beautiful thing to actually watch humanity get better. This is helping the people, the 20,000 families that have already started this, and we've already been out over 60 countries. It's amazing to see all these testimonials and see people talk about all their blood work from their doctors getting better. And it's just, it's been beautiful.
Well, of course, I didn't get the vaccine, but I still want to use the product, because I'm sitting here thinking, we were just, before we hopped on here, we were talking about how busy we are. All of us are busy. We're so busy, and we're, sacrificing a night to do a show, and we'll be in 4 million households, and we'll get 100,000 views on Rumble, and we're so thankful for, platforms like Stu Peters and Mike Lindell and everyone that tries to get out conservative messaging. But we're doing this not because we're making millions of dollars. I surely don't make any money. I mean, I make very little on my show. I mean, you're talking about like a couple hundred a month, if that. Very little, and it's fine. It's fine. I do it because I want to get truth out to people who are like me. They work. They want their family to be free. They want their children, their future grandchildren, or their current grandchildren not to live in communism. And that's why I got involved, and that's why you're involved. We want to be free, and there's so many of us. We're all over the country, but we are together. And what the government knows, I was actually reading something that my friend Sharona Bishop, she's America's Mom, I don't know if you know Sharona, but she has a big following, and she was talking about that when she got, like, the FBI came to her house and arrested her or whatever, they said, you're a connector. And I read that today, and I'd forgotten she told me that when I was, like, interviewing her. We're all connectors, and they hate it. They hate it because if something happens, like if something goes down, that's like one of us are in trouble, it's like, hey, I need your help. And when I have 60,000 volunteers just in Georgia, and I call 60,000 people to come help me, they're coming, right? They're coming to help me. And if you need help, we're coming to help you. And that terrifies everybody. And I'm not talking about war. I'm talking about an informational war. I'm not talking about bloodbath, everybody dying, which I hope and pray that never happens in America. But if they rig this election, we're probably going to be hunkering down because we don't want to be involved. Because I don't know what this country will do if they cheat again. So I hope they're scared to cheat. I really do. I hope they are. But we're losing our country. And people are they're terrified about that. They really are. And so we know that the only truth we have in media is conservative media, like The Flame, like my show, like Stu's network, like Mike's network. Like there's very few of us who are out there who are telling the truth. Laura Loomer, my friend Laura Loomer, she is an awesome truth teller. And so, of course, I love General Flynn. I mentioned General Flynn earlier. We have to network together, and we have to take companies like yours, Matthew, and we have to give a voice to it. Because people are asking, what do I take? What do I do? I want this out of my body. I'm hurt. I'm sick. What do I do?
Right. Kandiss, can I say, just before you guys go a little more, this is what we found. We had one person that was unvaccinated and 2 people that were vaccinated. And the graphene oxide levels, which is really the main ingredient that Quinta Columna had kind of proven and different things that's in the vaccine, that's real nefarious. And self-replicating, self-assembly and stuff. It's well known now. That ingredient right there that is what we pull out the very best. And nobody else has that proof. Nobody else has ever gone and done it. Nobody's product that they said was good, that they say does all these things, they've never put their money where their mouth was, went and got a trial done. We're 8 months old. We're 8 months old. We're a brand new company, and we did that. And, when you don't have graphene oxide in your body, you can't be connected to a lot of things. And with not aluminum out of your body, your health and your vitality is going to drastically improve. I can't wait to get to hear from your experience when you get to try MasterPeace.
And I can't wait to hear of people who have autistic children who do it and you pull it out of them. Because my husband read, I don't know if y'all know, but Dr. Batar, and I think he died, but his son was an autistic child and he got the heavy metals out of his body and he didn't have autism anymore. So there are people who have those testimonies, and I've talked to Dr. Artis. I don't know if you know Dr. Artis, but he's one of my dear friends. And Dr. Artis, he talks about that, just the heavy metals and getting them out of your body. And so if your product does that, it's a creative gift from Jesus. So thank you. He's the healer. So we just give him accolades, and you make billions of dollars on it, and everybody gets healed, and that would be wonderful. And you put pharmaceutical companies out of business. That would be fabulous. So
our bodies heal themselves. If you get all the nasty, unnatural, and pure biohazardous toxins that don't belong in our bodies do the rest.
That's right. The creator who created us and created all of this, he knew that, right? So they had to find something to inhibit that so he can't work. So y'all, ladies, Rachel, Anna or Nicole, whichever one of you reminds me of a girl I know named Rachel, so I want to call you Rachel. But anyway, Nicole or Anna, one of you, y'all go for it. Wherever, I know we've said a lot, so y'all respond to what you want to.
Yeah, I actually want to respond to just what Matt was talking about, because I have been taking MasterPeace, and actually the whole reason that I even got into politics and the government overreach is because I was very sick, and I had spent 4 years in the seeing specialists in the medical field, the traditional medical fields, and not getting any relief, not getting any answers. I ended up in a shed, legitimately a shed that somebody puts their lawnmower in, with a naturopath who wasn't fully certified yet. And I got a ton of information, a ton of healing. I was getting better within a few days. But overall, I had heavy metal toxicity in a massive way. My kidneys basically were not functioning heavy metals. And ever since then, it's been 95% better, but never like 100% full relief. I still have inflammation in my hands, and at certain times when my hormones are different, they crack and swell up. And taking MasterPeace, I have no inflammation. It basically has completely gone away. And so I am, a testimony to that working, because it does take out heavy metals. Like I said, knowing the progression of where I was naturally compared to taking MasterPeace is day and night, because it's just not a constant battle. So I'm always excited to share people's products that are making a difference, because you're totally right. God did prepare our bodies to be absolutely perfect and heal themselves. It's the world that we live in that's polluting it and not allowing it to work correctly. And that's a man-made problem. And so is everything else that's going on in our government. Kandiss, I also wanted to comment on you talking about the informational war. So that is the war we're in, is an informational war. If our school systems can keep us occupied and keep us stupid, if our mainstream media can keep us occupied and keep us unaware and keep us divided, if our social media sites can just continue to download AI and read our minds and keep us busy, then we're not really concentrating on the important things. And it's so true what you said also, that when you go into communities, you're hearing the same things. No matter where you're going, you're hearing the same things. But those same things are not what you're hearing on your local news. It's not what you're hearing on mainstream media. It's not what you're hearing on social media. And that's why paper is so vital, is that those are the stories we're covering. Those are the people we're talking to. Those are the articles that we want to push out. And Nicole had mentioned the local action makes national impact. We have Act 333, God laid on my heart over a month ago, that every person can give 3 papers to a person, and those people can tell 3 people, and we can change the world. It's that simple. We don't have to comply. We don't have to continue to allow ourselves to be so occupied that we're not really concentrating on the important things. And we also don't have to allow ourselves to participate in things that don't really matter. Politics are not that difficult if we break them down into community. Relationships are not that difficult if we break them down to community. And that ultimately is always what Jesus' mission was, right? To what is right in front of us? What is it that we can do right now to make things better? And I think that when we can educate people and they can see a bigger picture, but still stay centered in their communities and do what they can do in front of them, we make a difference.
Well, and you made a good point, and I want to say this, like, I'm nobody. Like, I'm from South Georgia, I'm a mama, I'm an educator, working in a public school. I'm a normal person, and I ran and got involved in politics because I don't want to live in China. And I knew these politicians, they say all the same thing. They're doing all this, they're telling us all this stuff. I just came from a political meeting where a senator was there and he was talking and he's saying all the things, and I'm sitting there and I like him fine, but they're saying, I'm like, just cut to the bull crap and just tell us. But they can't, because they have this mirage they have to set up and tell you, and it's you know what it is, the rhetoric. And I was so sick of the rhetoric. I was done with it. And that's why I ran, and that's why they kept saying, you're a breath of fresh air, you're the one we've been waiting for, and they were saying all these things that, it wasn't about me. It was about the Holy Spirit in me, and it was about, she's not afraid. She's saying what we want. Right.
She's authentic.
Right, and I'm saying what everybody else is thinking, right? They want real. They want relatable. We're sick of it. We're sick of the games and the mind control and the manipulation and the smoke and mirrors. We don't have time for it. We just talked about that. We don't have time. Shoot it to me straight. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. I don't need you to dumb it down and sugarcoat it. Just tell me straight up say what you mean and mean what you say, right? Stop all that. And so I'm so thankful for media like that will put the truth out, and it gives people a weapon in their hand and say, hey, I'm not alone. This is happening here. This is how they handle it. This is how they had results. And it puts the truth right. And I guess it comes, I wonder if you do it, is it digital or is it in their mailbox? Like, how do you do that?
So we actually have a subscription model. So we do have a digital copy, and that you can subscribe for. But our model is different than any other. So our model is for people to get multiple copies. So you subscribe, and you can subscribe from 1 paper all the way up to 500 papers, whatever is comfortable. Like I said, God laid the Act 333 on my heart, because I just feel like it's every single person knows 3 people they can give a paper to. And that they're willing to talk to those 3 people to get their own 3, right? And so it just, keeps going. But yeah, we have people who order 150 papers. In fact, General Flynn was our cover last month. And we had one of our amazing friends, Darren, who was just at one of General Flynn's movie premieres. He brought 150 papers there and passed them out to every single person that was there. And that's the idea, is that, we have so many people who are, giving money to their churches or donating money to, local charities and, whatever. And really, we are a ministry. So when people come and get 150 papers, they are actually donating their money to a ministry. We love Jesus, we love God, and we want to spread, his word as much as possible as well. And they can contribute information out into their communities. I say all the time, pastors, some pastors have 50 people in their congregation. Some people have 500 people in their congregation. Imagine if churches were getting 500 papers and getting those out into their community. You know what I mean? Like, papers can go anywhere. They can't be censored. Once it's written, it's written. And I think that for a lot of people, they don't even realize how much they're censored. I know I talk to people all the time that are like, oh, I had no idea until I talked to so-and-so and I had sent them 5 messages and they hadn't received any of them. And I'm like, it's all the time.
Oh yeah. And this week, Facebook had shut down several of my posts from even 2 years ago, and they were sending errors and saying they didn't meet community standards, and it was about the vaccine, and it was about, I was sharing something about one of my children, and just a personal birthday or something. So it's just, censorship is rampant. You're exactly right. And once it's in print, it's in print. I want to say this, and I'm going to get back to your business partner and let her, I know she probably has something she wants to say too, but what I realized when you were talking is how I'm nobody. I'm just normal, just like everybody else. But I've been with President Trump several times. I have General Flynn's phone number in my phone, Mike Lindell. You have all these people who are Laura Loomer, Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've been with all of these people. They're normal. They're just like us. And normal. Right. So what's happened is this digital age that we're in, we're able to connect so closely, right? And we're able to influence each other, and we're able to spread this. And so it's scary to the radical left because they can't control us anymore because we have so much connectivity. And that was my point. That was my point I never got to. I was trying to get to that point.
Yeah, no, you're totally right in that. That is one thing when you were talking about connectors earlier. Nicole and I have been at this for over 4 years, with the Flame exclusively for 3. And one of the things that we 90% of what we do is connecting people. And when we first started, because let me just tell you, I always say, it's not what you say, sometimes it's how you say it. There's lots of conflict when you are putting out information, especially the truth. But one thing a very smart gentleman told me in the very beginning is the discernment you will find is being in the same room with people and how you feel. And I truly, we have been in the room with the Trumps, with several times. And every single time my heart is happy, it is full. One of my greatest pictures of all times is actually just from a month ago. We were with General Flynn and he was walking out to the car. He had 3 stacks of cookies and some candy bars that he was taking because they were going on a road trip, and he was taking it to the car. And I'm like, well, that's a picture perfect moment. And he turned around and he's like, Anna, go ahead and take it. Right? Really, genuinely just everyday people. I have 6 kids. I've been a stay-at-home mom for 12 years. Before that, I was a bartender. And yeah, to be honest, it's really, like Nicole says, it's just saying yes, stepping in. God is going to call us to the crazy. He's crazy. He calls us into the craziest things. But ultimately, we just have to step in and we have to say yes. And he provides the way. He provides the relationships, just the right people at just the right time. And he provides the discernment to know, you know what? I know everybody else is saying it's this, but I know it's this because God is telling me, because the people around me that I trust and believe are telling me, because, so-and-so down the street actually had this happen to them and talk to me about it. And we're in a position to put that out into the masses.
So Nicole, jump in, Nicole.
Okay. Well, the one thing I will say is we're able to cover a lot of issues in one thing. It's something you couldn't just talk to somebody. You can't give your taxi driver a Rumble video. And so with Matthew's stuff, we could put about his product in the Flame and in his own paper that goes extensively into what he's doing. We can do the Hatch Amendment, which is coming out from Able Child and tell people how to not comply with their schools. We're able to put the VAERS data on the back of the paper. We're able to run about the UN and what's going on with government overreach and with globalism. We're able to do constitutional stuff and talk about the Second Amendment. We're able to put the Ephesians 6:12 on the back of our paper and be guerrilla marketers for Jesus. We're able to do what you cannot do in a conversation. It takes 2 seconds to hand somebody a paper, and each paper is an hour-long conversation. So, I mean, literally, and then for people to have their own papers, every organization should have their own paper. Because those people with Matt's paper, with MasterPeace, those people, his affiliates are able to bring them to stores, to their best friend. That could save somebody's life from getting heavy metal detox out of them. Every organization, every politician running should have their own paper, because like I said, it's an hour-long conversation. You can't do it on a door hanger. You can't walk up to a door and say everything about your platform. So it's super important that people understand the power of print. It's not dead. It's surely alive. And
what's the word you like to use? It's retro cool.
It's retro cool. That's from Michael Purity. But yeah, it's retro cool. And it tells a story. So every candidate out there, every organization could tell their own story through the Flame Press. That's at theflamepress.com. And then the Flame 333 is just amazing. And with General Flynn this month and the Hatch Amendment, that could save kids' lives by just that. So that is about all I have to say, Anna.
Well, I was going to say to y'all that, campaigning with my husband, he's running for probate judge. It's just a county seat. And my cousin owns our newspaper, our local newspaper. And so we also have a friend that owns a radio station. And so we've done the radio, we've done the paper, we're door knocking, we do social media, we've done the ads on social media. And I'm going to tell you what we've heard the most when we go door knock, and we've knocked about 1,000 doors. They say, "Oh, I saw you in the paper. I saw you in the newspaper." Because the newspaper are in the convenience stores, they'll see them when they pick it up, and they get a subscription. It comes to their house, and they go to get their mail, and it's on the front page, and they see it. And so, you pay for the top headline to be, his name and his face and probate judge, and then a scripture, right? And they see, okay, you don't have to say I'm a Christian. You used a scripture. You're running for probate judge. You're nice looking. Yes, I'll vote for you. And so it's easy, and you think, it has to be like a big ad or it has to be a lot of information. It doesn't. It is powerful. And I'm telling you, just sitting here listening to you.
It's credible. Paper is credible. When something is written, it's credible. I mean, I can't deny that the internet is beautiful. There's so many beautiful things about it. It's getting information out into mass quantities.
But
However,
we get tired of this. It wears us out.
Right. Well, and not only that, I think too, we don't pay as much of attention. If you've noticed, it's like, I will check things and I will just scroll, right? And find what I was actually looking for, because I'm just like, oh, it's another ad. It's another this, it's another that. I think, again, it's, government overreach has overplayed its hand. The internet in some ways has overplayed its hand. There's so much that we don't want to look at, that we don't take everything we see seriously. When we see a newspaper, we take it seriously. When we read a book, we take it seriously. It's different. It's different than what we see on the internet or what we see on TV. I think there's plenty of studies out there that show just using all of your senses, right? You're seeing, you're reading, you're touching.
It's passive. It's passivity. So research shows when you're looking at TV or you're looking at videos or even scrolling through mindless things or getting a click, like when you get notifications, it dumps a little bit of dopamine, but you don't retain it. But when you read, you're right, you use more senses and you use more brain processes. And so when you use your processes in your brain, then you store the information and it becomes part of your education. And that's why I do not like online college. I want face-to-face. I want textbooks. I hate that. I have a freshman in college and he's taken 2 online classes this time and I'm like, no. But he had to. They didn't offer him face-to-face. I'm like, I want you in a seat. You're going to learn there. I'm paying money for tuition. I don't want you. You can learn that on Google, right? So, Matthew, respond. I know you have something to say.
No, I totally agree with everything that you guys are talking about. You know, in our world, us as people, we are going to be better if we realize all the problems and things that we're actually dealing with. And so getting out this information on all levels about the things that the mass media doesn't really ever talk about, which are the real root causes to a lot of the issues that we're dealing with as a society. And, you know, the fact that people are very apathetic, they can't retain knowledge, all that, you know, forever chemicals, these are things that are forever there, microplastics, everything else, they don't leave our bodies. There's a million products out there that say they get rid of them, but nobody has actual proof or evidence to show if they work or not. And people's experiences from them aren't there. And I think that we have to fight for a better world from all angles. You know, knowledge and information, that knowing the truth, but also being able to find the truth and get the truth is so powerful, right? And so, like, I'm a big reader, and so I read purposely out loud because I know that you retain it different, yeah, and you retain it. And so, you know, us being able to figure out and know how to improve our cognitive functioning, you know, we can't live in a world and make it as a species emotionally, mentally, and eventually physically. If the only time anybody's going to actually stand up and do anything is if someone comes to your doorstep and starts ripping kids from you or something like that. These people, we can watch unnatural lines in the sky and people won't even care. They're too busy looking down at their phone half the time. And, you know, knowing that phone, it's like Stockholm syndrome, right? Because we need it, but it's your abuser. That thing is frying you. Electromagnetic radiation is a real thing. This is way proven. And so the same thing that's frying you worse than anything is also the thing you need the most, and that you won't even pay it. Some people won't even pay attention to their kids over it and everything. And so I just love this type of collaboration. I love this, you know, this level of conversation and really talking about concepts and ideas and being solution focused. You know, that's what we need to do instead, you know. And I'm really happy to be a part of this conversation. Yeah.
Well, I cannot wait. I can't wait to try your product. She was my business partner, but she has a hard time getting heavy metals out of her body, or like just detoxing in general. And she actually goes and gets detoxed like professionally, goes to all kind of, she's tried everything you can imagine to get the toxins out of her body, because it puts her back in.
Try MasterPeace.
Yeah, she needs to. She's tried the graphene oxide stuff. Christopher Keys has done some things that she's tried before. And so I'm sure you could explain to her how yours is different from his. But
well, we're the first and only company, Kandiss, that has actually taken people's levels of graphene oxide and then put them on a protocol and then showed them later. And I just real quick, and everybody that we've looked at and tested so far, which is the baseline study that we're doing now in our initial pilot study, we have a lot of people that haven't been vaxxed or vaxxed, but our world, graphene oxide is in everybody. All the live blood analysis, anybody you talk to, artists, he'll know, anybody that's around live blood analysis, experts, dark field microscopy, it's in all of us. So, I mean, it's not just from the vaccines. And yeah.
So,
I didn't mean to cut
no. No, people need to know, and they're going to have questions. And so, anything you think of, that's Holy Spirit. Like, just say it, because people will have questions while they're watching, and they're like, "I wish they would answer this." And so, they can put it in the comments, and then we can get back with them later. So, if there's something else you want to know, write it in the comments, and Matthew can see the video, and he can answer it for you directly. But I want to talk about. So, Matthew, will you explain how you're using the flame? Because they said you have your own magazine.
Absolutely.
Or newspaper. Newspaper. I'm saying magazine, but newspaper.
It is a printed newspaper. I do know they got a digital one, but they wouldn't have been able to get my business with a digital newspaper. I wouldn't have been. What they are is it's a very old school, high quality paper. Their team worked great with my team. I couldn't say enough about the experience, but I have a lot of chiropractors. I have hundreds of chiropractors, naturopaths, clinical practitioners, and so they all have offices. So we have a large amount of people. We have different ways that people can go about getting MasterPeace. We do have an affiliate program. We don't have an MLM program. It's not an MLM. It's called e-commerce direct sales. It's a whole nother, that's for another time. But we have a lot of people that love the idea. They play our short videos in their offices. I probably have about 20 of these people in Canada and whatnot. And they want to leave the paper where then people can pick it up and read a very high quality paper, very top notch. I don't see why every politician actually wouldn't be using the Flame. I would if I was trying to do that. But
well, maybe it'll just be me, and then it'll just help me so much.
Yes, it will help you. It will help you because it makes a real change. It gives a whole new angle so that people can retain a message about something great, which is what you're fighting for, the truth and your position, you know?
So tell me, Matt, what do you like write the content? You just give the content to them and they produce it? Like, how does that work?
So, you know, they make it as seamless and as easy as possible. So they will dive into all your material the best that they did my material, and I have a lot of studies, evidence, research, anecdotal testimonies and stuff like that. They spent a lot of hours and time, came to me with what they kind of felt was good for an 8-page newspaper, and then they worked with my team just to make sure everything was T's crossed, I's dotted. And by the time I was actually reading it, because my time, I'm pretty busy, I got 5 kids and I got a whole bunch of stuff happening too in my life. And so by the time I read it, it was already proofed and edited. And, we'll have 2,000 copies that we get to put into a lot of offices around the world. And
so are you making money
incredible.
on this too, or is it just
no? I'm not interested in information. I'm not interested in, I'm charging people, but that's all something that can be worked out between them. And I chose not to. I'm just more concerned with having a new way to get out the information about MasterPeace.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, it just gets out your message. And so that's another modality than what we have. And then if everything falls apart, then you have that modality to get your information out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Right now we have just about every health supplement company out there that's not a part of MasterPeace is putting together hit pieces and doxing pieces. And that's because the fact of the matter is, if there's one product that removes all this junk, all the rubbish that doesn't belong in your body, then your body gets to do what God made, which is the perfect healing machine. And all of a sudden you don't need to take 50 different supplements. And so health supplement companies, they don't really like MasterPeace at all. They're all trying to turn on me.
Of course not.
And so I need the newspaper.
That's right. So go ahead. I mean, we have like 5 minutes. So I want you to tell me how to find your product and kind of tell them how it works. And like, if you want to give prices, you can. If you don't, at least tell them how much they need to buy to get through, you feel like, to a healthy place.
Well, until we are breathing in clean air, until our land, air, and water and ecosystem is cleaned up, we are constantly being bombarded with these unnatural poisons. Mm-hmm. So until the world's cleaned up, it's something that we're going to keep taking. But I will say this, one bottle lasts 2 months. We purposely created this entire product to be highly affordable for everybody. It's only $53. And so it's less than $1 a day. I would suggest anybody, like anything else, try it. You'll get a little card, just like at the doctor's office, that says in between 1 and 10, Kandiss, how do you sleep? How do you do this? How does this go for you? And then you just keep taking these drops. They taste like salt water. And then you're going to just watch those numbers, stick that little thing on the refrigerator that's asking you how you're feeling. And as it gets better, why stop taking something that improves your life? It makes you a happier person when you're depoisoned. You connect with people better. They feel you better. You're more tolerant of your kids, pets, life, anybody in your community, people at the grocery store. It takes narcissistic men and starts making them human again.
Please, Lord, please. Can we give it to everybody in the GOP? All of you.
Oh, yeah. That would be the best.
That was hilarious.
I try to speak truth only. I try to only speak truth. No, I'm being funny. Somebody's going to say something, and I try to only speak truth. And these narcissistic, I mean, they're not all narcissists, but there are a few in the GOP, and I could name them for you, and they know who they are. And they will say, "Well, Kandiss, like she, whatever." Well, I tell the truth, and Jesus told the truth, so I'm in good company. They need your medicine. They need your medicine.
Yes. To learn more R2, if you want to look at ordering too, but also to see the evidence page and all that, Kandiss, if it's okay, nobody can just go to our website and order.
Okay.
So I will, if we can, after the show, we'll provide you a link. Also, nobody has any obligations when you sign up or order. There's no recurring fees. There's no membership fees. There's nothing like that. It's simply go there, but to go there and create an account to order, you actually have to enter with a link. You can't just go straight to the website. So we can get that all lined up. And
so we'll put a link down in the description below this video. There'll be a link. Yeah, so we'll put a link below in the description of the video, and we'll also put maybe an email address or the website where you can go and request it if you are on a different platform where the link doesn't work. But we'll put it in the description. Okay, and so I want we'll go back here, and if you'll talk about the Flame and like if somebody's interested in getting their own newspaper, how they would go about that, and how they would go about subscribing to your original publication.
So I'm going to touch bases on the Flame really quick. And Nicole, if you want to take the Flame Press, and I know that Kandiss asked if people could make money by having their own paper, we'll make sure that we cover that. So yes, theflameusa.com. If you go there, you can subscribe to as many papers as you would like. I highly suggest, like I said, if you just want to try it out, do the Act 333. It's easy. I know everybody knows three people that they can get a paper to, but also make sure that you're telling those 3 people to get papers as well. We also do advertising. So on the website, you can sign up to advertise. And I always tell people, if you don't have an ad, we are willing to help with that. And so you can just contact us. So yes, we're always looking for volunteers. Get your subscriptions, and make sure that if you would like an ad, advertise with us. We need all the help we can get to continue moving forward. And Nicole, yes, move on to the Flame Press, please.
Okay, you could go to theflamepress.com, and it has a place where you could actually work out your numbers and on there and see what your needs are. The one thing you could do is just say, I'm interested, and we'll actually have a conference call like we did with Matt, and we have templates available. So we can help you gather content. If you already have content, you could tell us where it wants to go, what template you want, so we can make it super simple. And you don't have to make money. Like Matt wants to just get papers out to his affiliates so they could spread the word on MasterPeace. We do have, it will cost money though, because it cost us to print, shipping, and handling. So it'll have to be at least that base price for people to order. They could order 3 or 100, 150, whatever they want. But you can make money. So an organization that they want to raise their fundraising, they could do, one paper for $5.97. I think they make $1.07 per paper. If you have 100,000 people in your organization, that's $100,000 a month in fundraising. Just send out an email and say, we have a paper. It's a no-brainer for organizations. I always say, I use Charlie Kirk because he's in the college campuses, but just imagine all those college kids just passing out papers, and he'd make fundraising dollars. It's a no-brainer. It's super cheap, and the return on investment super simple. So go to theflamepress.com and find out more. Every church organization and every candidate should be having papers. Thank you. And thank you for all you do.
Yes.
So thank y'all. I appreciate y'all so much for coming on here. Is there anybody, did y'all forget anything? Is there anything you want to say before I stop?
I want to say thank you for providing a platform for people where they can talk about the truth and where you're not scared to bring up stuff. You know, politicians as a whole, they don't know, they don't like to touch on too much. You know, they don't want to turn away people and stuff. And you being fearless and incorruptible, Kandiss, I hope you role modeling that. I hope other politicians see your success from it, and you can spark a new change with some of that, because our politics are broken too, just like our society is.
Well, thank you for saying that. I've tried to stay true to myself always and to the people. I'm one of the people, and I'm going to stay that way. And so they want to demonize me, and they try to make me seem crazy. Then they try to make me seem like I'm establishment now. Like, whatever, it doesn't matter. Let's try everything to make her shut up, right? Like, I had a multimillionaire call me one day, and he said, what will it take for you to shut your mouth about politics? $1 million? Like, what will it take? And I was like, you can't afford it. I'm bought and paid for the blood of Jesus, and I'm going to say whatever I want to, whenever I want to. So I appreciate that, that's why I continue on, because people will say, please just tell the truth. And I'm like, okay, I'll just keep telling the truth and shame the devil. Right? But thank y'all so much for coming on, and I want everyone to check out both of these companies. Y'all look at it. You know, we got to get healthy. Like, we need to be. You hear my voice right now. I'm fatigued right now. I've worked so hard today, knocking doors, trying to get my husband elected to a local seat for probate judge. So this is why my voice, I don't feel bad. I sound bad. But they're going to be like, what's wrong with you? I'm going to say that in the comments. They'll be worried about me. But I don't feel bad. I've worn my voice out. And then y'all look at the flame, order it anyway. Like, order the publication for yourself, and then do the 333 method. And then if you want to get your message out, then you become your own newspaper. This is phenomenal. And I have to give a shout out before I get off to Sammy. So Sammy, this is how this came about. She was like following me, and she started messaging me, and I followed her back. She said something one day on Twitter, I think, that I liked, and so I followed her back. Well, then she could private message me. So she did, and I thought, okay, I don't know about her. We'll see. Because sometimes I have like crazy liberals that pretend to be conservatives, and they dox me. So I was like watching her for a little while, and she was just so supportive and so sweet. Then she got on Facebook too. And so it was like both platforms kind of talking to me. And she kept sending me all this stuff. And I kind of skimmed it one night. And I was like, I cannot read all this. And so I've been so busy. So then yesterday, or the day before, it was like the Holy Spirit said, just have the people on the show. You got to do a show this week anyway. And I usually do a show 2 weeks in advance. And so this show is actually going to be on like in 2 days. So that's rare. And so anyway, I thought, okay. So I said, hey, how about just come on my show, and I will hear all the stuff you want to tell me, because I thought if she gets on there crazy, I just won't show the episode. And so she's like, well, I'm kind of shy, so can I just get them to come on? And she started saying, she started naming Nicole and Anna and Matthew. I'm like, okay, I usually have one guest, but sure, just bring them all. Just let's do it. So it was a God thing. It happened. And so
She's
Sammy,
so amazing.
I love
you know
her.
what? She is crazy. She's crazy awesome.
She's a honey badger.
I called her a pit bull, but she is just amazing. Yeah.
I love her.
Well, they call me a bulldog. So pit bull, bulldog, that's good. So thank you, Sammy, for connecting all of us. You're a connector. We love you. And so this show wouldn't have happened without you, Sammy. So thank you so much.
Sammy, thank you. Thank you so much.
So I'll see y'all next week on Jesus, Guns, and Babies on the Stu Peters Network. I love you. God loves you. God bless America. Hey everybody, I want you to go to heavensharvest.com, promo code Kandiss, and I want you to get prepped. We don't know what's coming, who knows, but regardless whether it's a hurricane, national disaster, or the whole government shuts down, they have awesome deals on freeze-dried food. In fact, they have a new item. It's freeze-dried cans. It's a lot less expensive than the big barrels. Go there, heavensharvest.com, promo code Kandiss, and check them out.